Welcome in, everyone. I hope, as always, you are doing great. We have a very important message to share today, and that is a message that Donald Trump spoke in front of the entire nation during an address to Congress, and he wanted to make one thing crystal clear. A cartel war is coming, and the bad guys who now are, as we all know, declared terrorists, they better run for the hills because it might get ugly for them. We're going to get into all that and much more. Before we do, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to comment below with what you thought about Trump's speech and his direct threat that he issued to the cartels. Now let's get into it. Tuesday night, President Trump addressed all of Congress, the entire government, and the American people in a lengthy speech that went deep into Tuesday night, a little bit too deep for my bedtime, generally speaking, but overall seemed like a pretty standard speech about what the administration is going to do, what his goals are, what they've already done, and the cartels were mentioned multiple times, as well as these gangs coming up from south of the border, inflicting lots of pain and carnage. We have two clips that we're going to run here, and then we're going to get into all of it and what this message means for the bad guys that we are targeting. Let's go ahead and roll the first clip now, which is him talking about the gangs that have inflicted so much carnage and how he's going to handle them. You can watch that clip right now.
Murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations. They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever.
So in that clip, you saw President Donald Trump make it crystal clear that these gangs, these violent, horrible people who have pushed their pain and carnage across the border, they are now viewed the exact same as ISIS. And if we all remember, we all know exactly what happened to ISIS. They got absolutely shellacked across Iraq and Syria, crushed. They are a fraction of a size, probably less than 1% of what they were at their peak, because when the United States unleashes the United States military, we all know how that story ends. It never ends well for the bad guys. And in case there was any doubt of any kind about what President Trump plans to do when it comes to dealing with the drug cartels down in Mexico, he said they're at war with us, and we're going to be at war with them. Let's roll that clip right now.
The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war in America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing. Five nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever.
So those comments you just saw from President Trump, where he talked about how the cartels are waging war on the United States, and the United States has every intention of returning that favor, for lack of a better term, is the clearest cut sign we've had publicly from President Trump in weeks in terms of him talking about the drug cartels, talking about his mindset, talking about our posture, our positioning, what we plan to do about the drug cartels. And he could not have been more clear with his comments here. He said, they're waging war with us. We're going to wage war on them, which, he adds, we're already doing. And we've seen this unfold. We've seen the early steps of this. We've seen the spy flights. We've seen the Reaper drones from the CIA. We've seen this 7 Special Forces group go down there. They've rushed heavy armor to the border to surge up and plus up what's already there. We have the 10th Mountain Division involved. I mean, we are talking about serious assets, serious resources, and we also have the reporting that came out a few days ago about how cartel leaders and high-ranking cartel officials are literally running into hiding out of fear of what the Trump administration and the United States military might do to them. And that's good news. We want these people scared. We want these people looking over their shoulder. We want these people to not really be able to sleep at night. You know, I've interviewed veterans from SEAL Team 6, Delta Force, to where guys that they were chasing were so scared and so nervous, they started sleeping with explosives and weapons on them because they knew that essentially once the unit members or SEAL Team 6 DevGru guys showed up, it was over for them. And, I mean, think about how terrified you have to be to sleep with an explosive device, essentially in the hope that you can take out who's ever coming through the door because you know you have absolutely no chance in a straight-up fight. That's the type of fear we want to put into these cartel leaders. That is the kind of fear we want to put into their soldiers. That is the kind of fear we want to put in the rank and file of these cartel members. They have pushed their violence, chaos, and carnage across our border far too long, and it's been tolerated. I won't say it's been allowed because I don't think anyone is happy about it, but it's certainly been tolerated. And it's been tolerated for years and years and years and years. And we've seen the kind of damage, the families who have been destroyed, the lives that have been destroyed. We've seen all that play out. And now we have a new president. And President Trump is making it crystal clear to anyone paying attention, the days of allowing the cartels to do whatever they want and get away with it are coming to an end. They're over. You can look at all the steps they've already taken. You can look at the posture of the military. You can look at what Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, has said. Look at all of that, and then you have President Trump going out there and saying in no uncertain terms that we are going to deal with these drug cartels. They want to wage war against us. We'll wage war against them. Now, do we have an exact timeline or an exact plan of how that's going to play out? No. But like I've said before, and I'll say again, and I'll keep saying because I don't care if people believe it or not, the United States military is up to any job that is handed to them. They have the tools and resources to get it done. And if you don't believe that Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, whoever it might be, can't come in the middle of the night, kick in some doors, and make it crystal clear who's going to win this fight, then I'd suggest you pick up a history book, watch some of my interviews, watch interviews other people have done. This story only ends one way if they decide to get violent, and it ends with us destroying them. That's what President Trump plans to do. Stop the chaos, stop the carnage, stop the poison being pushed over the border. It has to be done. If you made it this far in the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and above all, comment below with how you want to see the cartels handled. How do you want to see Trump strike them? And as always, I'll see you next time.